We hear the word equity a lot in education, but what does it really mean? The dictionary definition of equity is justice according to a natural law or right, freedom from bias or favoritism. In education, equity looks like creating learning experiences that are fair to every student, no matter what their needs are. We try to address equity with classroom accommodations for students with special needs using things like individualized education plans, behavior plans, and classroom practices like trauma-informed and culturally responsive teaching. But what does equity look like in a digital classroom? Whether you're teaching face-to-face or through distance learning, Hapara Workspaces provides some great ways to support equity in your online practice. Let's take a look at a workspace to see what that looks like. In this workspace, the first thing that you might notice is that it's very colorful. Though the colors make the workspace more visually appealing, they also help students to identify information within the workspace. The colors also coincide with the labels at the top of the columns. Color coding the cards is helpful for students who have difficulty reading or who are learning to speak and read English. The tags on the bottoms of the cards also help identify what's in the cards. A card with a diamond on it has an activity for points. A card with a globe contains reference materials to help you understand the learning objectives. A card with a light bulb contains instructional videos or written instructions. And a card with a star on it offers an opportunity to take your work further and get more points. Choice is very important to differentiating instruction. By giving students choices about how to move through the workspace, you can also provide them with opportunities for self-differentiation. The darker cards are must-do cards, and the lighter colored cards are choice cards. If a student is struggling with understanding, I may tell them to do specific cards because these cards are designed to scaffold information a little more. But students who don't need them can skip those. Hapara offers the opportunity to use groups so that I can show specific cards to specific students. This feature is nice when I want to hide cards from some groups. I use it sometimes for special education students who might be confused by so many cards, or students who are doing an alternative version of the same assignment. But most of the time I provide all supports to all students because sometimes these are helpful in ways I hadn't thought of before. For example, I started creating instructional videos for my low readers and English language learners who struggled with written instructions, but what I found is that the videos were handy to students who had no trouble reading because they could pause the videos and come back to them frequently. Providing supports to every student is kind of the idea behind universal design. UD is a great framework for designing accessible workspaces. Grouping can also be a way to manage collaboration while learning in class or at home. By putting students in groups and providing collaborative work, I can move from teacher-focused to student-focused teaching and build collaboration skills along with building classroom community. This is especially important during distance learning, when students may feel very isolated working from home. One of the biggest complaints about digital learning is that it only works for a small subset of students. That's why it's important to build digital learning resources that are accessible to every student and that offer plenty of ways to collaborate with teachers and classmates. Because Hapara is already loaded with so many options for providing students with supports while also promoting independent learning, it's ideal for all students.